Simba, you have to take your place as king.
How did your film's interpretation of Simba be distinct but also honor the past film?
I feel like I submitted to John in a sense of, he was like, we want to show this transition. You know, really we're seeing like a section of Simba's life that is really important to all of us, which is that when something awful happens, you have a choice. You can act like, oh, that was a random event, or you can use that as a part of like, this is one part of my life and I can use that to like make the rest of my life even better. And I think the Simba at the beginning, like you can even notice like my voice is high like when I come out, and it's like, you know, I'm talking a lot like this, and then by the end I have like a more bass in my voice, because it's like, yeah, this is a transition. And I feel like he's less of a slacker than in the first one. The first one, he's kind of got the surfer vibe, and he's like, yeah, whatever, like, and this one almost has like, he's almost stunted.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he's stunted as a child, and he's like, oh, I'm just gonna stay this age.
That's what happens with trauma, though. I think I mean, it's a movie for young people too, but there's some truth to that. You know, when you suffer trauma and you don't deal with it, you're not gonna be able to be your, you know, who you're meant to grow up to be. And so, and Donald really captured that because you hear his lines, you could tell what part of the movie they're from.
What's the motto?
Nothing. What's the motto with you? Nice! Boom!
Can you talk to me a little bit about the photorealism? I mean, this movie just looks beautiful, but they're animals. They look so much like animals.
Yeah.
So how do you pair this vocal performance, but now you don't have the cartoon to, you know, add the eyebrows and all that stuff.
Yeah, so it's taking away a lot of the tools that you have as a storyteller with visual effects, and you could do anything with visual effects. You have to create rules and parameters. I think part of why it looks so photoreal is because we don't have the animals doing things they wouldn't do. So I was limiting the animators who were creating these performances from their voices to only allow the animals to do what they would do if experiencing an emotion. So for example, a cat doesn't use their eyebrows or their eyes at all for emotion. It's all in their body language. And so if Donald would have a look of shock on his face, the animators would have to do research and see how a cat would express that same type of emotional beat. And usually it meant having a wider shot and having the camera either prowl or tense up or jump. And so it was almost like translating to a different language.
Seeing you again? You don't know what this will mean to everyone.
This is the last question my boss wanted me to ask. What was it like working with Beyonce, and what was it like the first time you saw her? Because everyone's just like in awe of her.
Well, for me, what's fascinating about her, and I've seen her on stage and I get it, it's bigger than life. She's an amazing once-in-a-generation entertainer. But to see how hard she works and how thoughtful she is about it, and then, you know, you're talking to her one day, next day, I know she was talking about doing an Inspired by album, and then next day, you know, talking to her, it's done. It's done. So it's like, there's something that comes along with being prolific that goes beyond just talent. It's also a certain vision and work ethic that she's I'm very impressed by with her.
Not starstruck then?
Oh, me? No, me and her go way back. We're like best friends.